Hi, my name is Mary Jo Elsie, and this presentation is about cyberbullying and digital citizenship at my school, St. Mary's School in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Just a bit of background about my school is that it is pre-K 3 through grade 8, so there's a wide age variety there. It's a small school. There are 2 grades per age group, and I would say from a kindergarten perspective, we don't have a lot of these issues, but I do think that we can begin by being proactive and making sure that these preventative measures are being taken before students get to the age where cyberbullying and really digital citizenship become a part of the conversation. My school is transitioning next year to one-to-one technology for the middle school students. So 6th through 8th grade will have one-to-one, and 3rd through 5th grade will have access in the classroom to one-to-one technology. So it's a big change, and I'm sure these conversations will become more and more apparent in the following year. So our current school policy is outlined in our student parent handbook, and it defines bullying and cyberbullying, and it states the repercussions of bullying. It can result in suspension or expulsion after the review of the principal, the parents, and all the students or the parties that are involved in the matter. Our school really values the whole community and as educators. So we really believe that parents are the first teachers and they should be involved in the process. So the handbook also states all members of the Catholic school community are expected to work together to prevent bullying and promoting the gospel values in a Christ-centered environment. So that Christian element can be embedded in lessons from as young as preschool 3 all the way through 8th grade. And you'll see that as I continue. My first proposal is parent training. So at the beginning of the year, the school could offer a parent technology night where they learn about some of the common social media platforms and some ideas of how to have those conversations about them with their children. I know my younger brother, who's only 6 years younger than me, and knows all these different social medias that I have never even heard of. He was talking about Ask, and from being a kindergarten teacher, I'm not always exposed to what the kids are doing. So I can't even fathom being an adult, like an older adult who has children in their teen years, knowing exactly what the social media is that students are on and how much of a risk that is for them. I think it would be really useful in these sessions to go over, like, maybe what are some boundaries that could be set or applications that they could utilize to maybe block social media after a certain amount of time a day, or how to just even have conversations about safety and digital citizenship, and give them these talking points. Some of the talking points are embedded into my proposal number 2. So discuss the topic using the 5 points from Wayne State University. Number 1, nothing is private online. Number 2, nothing online can be taken back. Once it's there forever. Number 3, be aware of pressure and coercion. Number 4, consider the reaction and feelings of others. And number 5, nothing is anonymous. So the one that really sticks out to me the most is consider the reaction and the feelings of others. This is such a Christian embedded principle that it is so easy to connect to the golden rule, which we teach in preschool and kindergarten, and my students know it. We always say, treat others the way you want to be treated. So as long as you're doing that core principle, the other ones fall into place. I mean, like, if you are treating yourself with the same respect that you would give to your best friend, like, you're probably not posting things that should be kept private on the internet. You're not you're being aware of that pressure and coercion, and you're noting that nothing is anonymous. So really, I mean, just the permanence of anything that's on the internet and its connection with the person that posted it is so critical for students to understand. And in their young minds, they don't always understand that. I mean, take the girl from the video and the lesson from this week in technology. I mean, she made one mistake and it ended up resulting in her ending her life. I mean, this is so important to spark conversation with young people about, because they don't know. If they haven't experienced it, they don't know the repercussions of their actions, especially on the internet, let alone even just conversations and actions that they take. Maybe their feelings are hurt from another person, such as this girl who slept with another girl's boyfriend. That shouldn't result in people getting so angry and worked up that like threats come from that. So it's really important to spark these conversations. My third proposal is offer training programs at transitional times in students' lives, such as 6th and 8th grade. I mean, we all know 6th grade is such a big turning point. Students move from that self-contained atmosphere, maybe having just a few teachers, maybe 2 teachers in a class, to switching to a different classroom for every content area and really rotating throughout the school. They're gaining so much responsibility at that time, and they're vulnerable because of that. When students are in 8th grade, they're preparing for high school. They're widening just their experience with so much more diversity in high school. I mean, the students that come from St. Mary's School and go into high school, they go from a class of about 35, 40 kids tops to a class of hundreds of kids, depending on the high school. And it could be low hundreds or high hundreds. I mean, we're in the Stevenson area, and some kids go to Stevenson, some kids go to St. Viator, some kids go to Carmel High School. Regardless of the situation, there's so much change happening there. A lot of them have been together since preschool 3, and now they're moving on to somewhere where they might not know anyone. With the variety of high schools, they might not know anyone from their previous experience that is there. So these trainings could offer social emotional learning skills and ways to cope with peer groups and social hierarchies. There's a lot of change, not only physical changes, but just like emotional vulnerability that really needs to be supported by both schools and their families. My last proposal is to offer separate trainings for girls and boys with a different focus. I mean, we know that boys and girls are very different and they mature at different levels and speeds, and really they require that safety of not having the other gender there to listen to their problems all the time, and really to just have that safe space for discussion and to maybe build that sense of community between either the girls or the boys. So research has shown that girls typically have relationship issues and need to learn how to use social media more responsibly. And I've seen this from my personal experience watching, I mean, from my high school and middle school experience to my younger sisters or now my nieces. And I see that, I mean, with the example of a student at my school last year, there was an incident with Snapchat that there was cyberbullying going on there, that we had a police officer even come in to talk about the importance of cyberbullying and the ramifications that can come from that nothing that you put out onto the internet, even if it's a Snapchat, that doesn't mean it's not permanent. And that doesn't mean that it can have long-term effects on your life. Finally, boys are more prone to physical bullying. So to really focus on that physical response, and maybe that stems from something that came out of social media or a cyberbullying incident, but to really make those connections with the genders and with these changes that are going on with the students, to give them that sense of comfort and vulnerability to openly talk about these things. I think that these 4 proposals would benefit the whole student body, specifically in the older grades, where I think this is more of an issue, because luckily in kindergarten and preschool, I don't really see these issues, but it could be those students that I'm working with a few years down the road who are struggling with these issues. So just to provide that support and the training that is necessary for them, I think it could change a lot in these young people's lives. Thank you.